said that it's also selling for 511 naira per litre in Port Harcourt. Well, there's several prices for that. There is a list making the rounds right now. But in a statement yesterday, the Nigerian National Petrol Company Limited, did also confirm that in a statement that their prices would be adjusted to meet current market realities. All right, talking to us about that this morning is the Chairman, Guild of Public Affairs Analysts, Enugu State Chapter, Ambrose Igboke. Good morning to you, Ambrose, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Kingsley. Thanks for having me.
Good morning, welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, I recall it was sometime this week we had this conversation with you as regards this, and you were particularly concerned about, the removal of subsidy and why there is a rush to do that. I recall you saying that corruption also exists in several other sectors of the economy and other spheres of life, and we need to check corruptions there, the corruption that exists in other spaces before if we're going to be entirely cleaning up the system. But what's your take now that there is not just an indicator but clear-cut steps taken towards this subsidy issue now that the NNPC Limited has said, well, we've adjusted the pump price across our outlets in Nigeria? This is what it's going to sell. In Lagos, for example, it is 488 naira per litre. In some other parts of the country, 500. I think the highest you find is in Maiduguri and Damaturu, which is 557 naira per litre. But Lagos is the lowest with 488 naira per litre. What's your take on this step, on this move by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, putting in mind also that the group chief executive now, Mele Kyari, met with the president Bola Tinubu yesterday?
It's unfortunate that this is the good morning the president is giving to us. But to be fair to the president, all the key contestants for the presidency, from P2B to Bola Tinubu to Atiku Abubakar, all said they are going to remove subsidy. Now, there is a consensus among the economists that the way the subsidy is run in Nigeria, especially in the petroleum sector, is wrong and not sustainable. Now, what government was supposed to do was to devise a sustainable means of subsidizing petroleum products, because petroleum products must be subsidized in Nigeria until we get refineries that can service our local consumption.
Ambrose, I'm sorry. Ambrose, I'm sorry. We'll take your thoughts and finish this thought in a moment. Please just stay there. Let's very quickly pay the bills.
Confidence to light up the room. That's why I'm deliberate about how I nourish my skin. I use a soap made with the right natural ingredients. A soap. Which one? A soap that contains shea butter and aloe vera, turmeric and honey for a glowing skin.
Experience the new Joy Black Soap, made with over 7 natural ingredients that moisturize, restore and repair your skin, giving you the confidence to be who you love to be. Joy, beauty my way.
When you listen to this station, you learn about your rights. You discover the law in ways you never imagined. You know why? Because we broadcast in your interest.
It's a problem that we are all experiencing in the country. Different parts of the country, the same thing is happening. So who do we call on to? Who do we hold responsible?
We impact knowledge.
If the grid is unable to shed the load that it ought to, it could also result in the collapse of the national grid.
Call it what you may, but we are here to stay. The law was never biased, so why should it be now? To every individual, we are Law FM 103.9.
There are no internal electricity board.
56 minutes past 9, the Law FM morning show. Thanks for staying tuned. Ambrose Igboke, who's the Enugu State Chairman, of the Guild of Public Affairs Analysts is our guest today on the Discourse, and has been talking to us about the newly adjusted prices of petrol in the country by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Ambrose, thank you so much for being there, and you were just landing with your thought.
I was saying that the Nigerian government says that subsidy, the way it is run in the sector of Nigeria, is not sustainable. What the Nigerian government should be talking about is how to clean up the corruption in the subsidy sector, so in subsidy, petroleum subsidy, and make it sustainable. Because the figures being bandied around as subsidy payments are fictitious, are not in tandem with the reality of our petrol consumption in this country. And there should be a forensic auditing of all those claims and to ensure that it's sanitized. But government cannot abdicate its own responsibility of ensuring that petroleum products are refined locally. You cannot not have put in place structures for refining of petroleum to meet our national consumption, our domestic consumption. You must put that in place before you say you are not doing subsidy or using the word, all this language, the regulation, all those things are pure Brentwood institutional languages. A government is not a capitalist venture. A government is there for the welfare of the citizens. Therefore, national issues like this that go to the very essence of the welfare of Nigerians cannot be mortgaged on the altar of economic capitalism. The government does that, that means they have failed in their primary constitutional duty, which is providing security and welfare. They say the primary duty of government is the security and welfare of citizens. The government failed in the second arm of its basic responsibility. That's what I'm talking about. That's when it comes to NNC.
All right.
Why is NNC having different pricing regime? It goes again to the ineffectiveness of government over the years.
All right, but whilst Ambrose,
refineries were working, we have pipelines that run from the refineries to major tank farms and depots. We have the Warri refinery, we have the Port Harcourt. Then to service the north, we have the Kaduna refinery. So the people, they will have tank farms where the refineries port these refined products to. So you find out that tankers do not need to travel far to access petroleum products. So we find out that the price parity in the whole country was almost the same. People are buying fuel at the same price because there is a proximity and access to getting refined products. But what do we have now? Everybody goes to Apapa in Lagos to access petroleum products. So we start having disparity. A tanker comes from Sokoto, it comes to Lagos to load. The one comes from Osoka, it comes to load. The one comes from Port Harcourt, it comes to load. The one that comes from Zuru comes to load. The one that comes from Kwara comes to load. The one that is close to Lagos here, Ogun, he comes there to load. So what are we talking about? So the pricing for landing costs becomes very expensive. So what has happened is that the root cause analysis of this thing is the fuel we are not refining locally. Every other explanation, no matter how economic analysis you do on why we should regulate or we should not fix one price or we should hike one price because of international market, is based on illogical economic reasoning. Because you cannot leave the root cause of a problem and start talking about the symptoms. I saw some people bandying price comparisons between some countries in Europe and Nigeria or countries in Africa. Those people have put some social contract, social amenities for the people. The people can afford it, and they are not always producing countries, none of them. Those people have health insurance that is Once you are 18 years old, you can even get a house, you can get your mortgage. You can go to school to PhD level, any level you want, without paying a dime of scholarship that you start repaying when you get work. When you finish, you don't have work. Government will give you work for you to start repaying. All those people have these social welfare packages, health, cars. Nobody finds, the government provides electricity for them. Government provides good roads, health, everything is provided for them. So they can afford, most of them don't even have cars. They don't even buy petroleum. Petroleum in most countries of Europe and America is luxury. They go and buy fuel. It's actually luxury for many people. They don't need it. But you know, on the other, paradoxically, in Nigeria, petrol is our lifeline. We use it to power our houses because there's no power supply. We use them to run our cars because there are no public transport, there are no good public transport systems. So many people depend on their personal cars to take their children to school, to run around to go to offices and the rest. So having a comparison with these two countries, is comparing apple and oranges. And those people are just being dubious. That doing no comparison without bringing all the developmental index at stake in doing the comparative. What kind of analysis is that? It's not anchored or scholarly analysis.
All right. All right, Ambrose. Well, I mean, it's really a sorry situation right now, considering your analysis. But it appears that you would not agree with the view that, look at Nigeria's economy. Nigeria is not a socialist state, right? Although you might want to say that some of the policies of the outgoing administration were socialistic in a way because of the social investment programs that he brought forward during his administration. But it's like we operate a mixed economy. Are you saying that you will not agree for government to take its hands off business, off providing these amenities, but to make sure that there's a conducive environment, conducive atmosphere for businesses to thrive? Are you saying that? So just the comparison, do you want government to, are you saying that government should provide all these facilities? You've talked about electricity, you've talked about roads, you've talked about businesses, you've talked about fuel and all the rest. Are you saying that it is the responsibility of government, or government should take its hands off so that private investors, but create the enabling environment for private investors, you know, to thrive?
Okay, you know, we are talking about textbook governance. First of all, infrastructure is still funded by public funding in Nigeria. So far, government is giving money to fund this infrastructure because we have capital expenditure and recurrent expenditure in our annual budget every year. So if government has been giving money to fund infrastructure, they should do that, and they must do that. If they don't want to do that, they should not bring out funds to map out funds for critical infrastructure. What do they do? They should open up the policies that encourage investors to come in. You cannot block investors from coming in. Why are we not concession all the ports? The government cannot run the ports. Why are we not concession the airports? Why are we not let port concession was done halfway? All the government agencies are still FDA is still there. Another thing, custom is still there. So you are saying that you want to, when it comes to petrol, you are very comfortable to say that it's the market forces. But other sectors of the economy, you have a hand in it. Even the electricity that was so-called deregulated, the government still has a hold in it.
Yes, the government has a...
of Nigeria. The government remove the time is mostly from distribution.
I'm sorry to come in here. Ambrose, I'm sorry to come in here. The government has a stake in, you know, even in this recent Dangote refinery, the government has also had plans or made plans to concession some of the ports. If you listen to the outgoing minister of...
I'm talking about plans.
No, it's
when you materialize the plans, then you can remove subsidy. When government bundles this, we are saying that government, let me tell you something, my brother. It is a street talk that has no basis in economics to say that government has not had a business. every government in the world, in fact, the most advanced government we are trying to copy, America and the rest, actually go to overseas, actually go to foreign countries to negotiate business for their companies. United States government will go to countries and negotiate. The other time when Jonathan was president, Angela Merkel, Chancellor of Germany, was there negotiating, and CEO of Siemens was with her.
I mean,
General Electric, American government negotiate businesses for General Electric.
Mr. Ambrose, there's no argument here, but the issue is we're just trying to understand you. If you look at Siemens, you just mentioned it's a private enterprise. So the question is, would you agree, or are you saying that private individuals, government should give them a breathing space so that they can thrive, not government directly funding or directly, putting funds into this? Because
those countries have history. You have to track history. You don't just come and say America is doing this. You ask yourself, when did America start doing this and leaving everything in private hands?
Right.
They achieved a certain level of developmental index. I don't know jump into it. There were some critical infrastructure that was provided by government before the Siemens of this world, the General Electric of this world came into existence. And you have to rise on that. There are policies. Okay, in the PIP for Petroleum Industry Act, why have you not, there's a provision for modular refineries. Have you ever asked yourself why modular refineries have not functioned?
And that's the more, Ambrose, that is the more reason, the reason it has not functioned. I mean, so many other companies have gotten licenses to operate, to, start their modular refinery. But what is hindering them? What is...
It is because of that government policies.
Exactly, the more reason why we are saying that government needs to ensure, I mean, your own idea or your own view, that's the view we want to get is, are you saying that government should be involved in this provision?
Government must ensure that there are alternatives to refining locally before it removes subsidy.
Okay.
So, whatever government is doing, that is ensuring, that is hindering the progress of people who have got licenses from investing their hard-earned money in other refineries, whatever that is hindering it, that is where government should start from. Government should clear those hindrances. And make sure that we have refineries locally that can meet our local needs before rushing to remove subsidy for petroleum products.
All right.
You cannot be responsible on one side and also claiming to be right on the other side. And then transferring the cost of the inefficiency to the citizen. It's not done anyway.
Talking about that,
to start by making policies to make sure that our local refinery capacity is met. And naturally, they remove their hands from the subsidy and regulate the sector. So you don't tell me you have not done that, and then you are passing the buck to Nigerians to suffer.
Maybe that's the point the Nigeria Labour Congress was making yesterday when they met with the representatives of government, of the federal government. We hear Dili and Lake was there. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited was represented by the Group Managing Director, Group Chief Executive Officer Melikiani was there as well. And what the Nigeria Labour Congress said, led by, and the Trade Union Congress, led by both presidents of the union, is that the federal government should return the price of petrol to status quo, to the original state it was, before coming to negotiate with Labour. That they did not do that before time. Do you agree with the Nigeria Labour Congress in this regard, and or in what direction do you think the federal government should go from here?
The federal government has no rights to pass this hardship on Nigerian citizens, because it's the federal government that is inefficient in their own duty. I align myself completely with what Labour has said. The Labour is saying there are some key critical infrastructures and policies that you need to put in place before you say you're answering up for subsidy. Every other country subsidizes their citizens one way or the other. Nigerian government, the only thing they are subsidizing, they say they are removing their hands from it. Nigerian government is not a capitalist venture that wants to run Nigerian citizens as I think they are running a bank. Nigerian citizens deserve some welfare packages. And the only welfare package Nigerian citizens is getting so far from government is this subsidy from the Nigerian from the fuel, because every Nigerian uses it. to satisfy some basic things. So before you just wake up with your Brentwood textbook from IMF and all those things, telling us the valuation, all those kind of things, to continue to perpetually enslave us, and then we just come with it and sing along, and the people are smiling to the bank with the money every year, and then we are saying that our citizens should suffer. Nigeria has no business buying for more than 50 naira per litre. But what business is that? We are supposed to be exporting and making money. So what we are saying is this: the government cannot abdicate its duty and at the same time transfer the result of its ineffectiveness, inefficiency to the Nigerian citizens. Therefore, you must sit down and say, okay, how do we ensure that we don't subsidize fuel anymore in Nigeria? There may be a solution. The first solution is to attain local refining capacity that will meet local consumption. They can give themselves 1 year. And so from 2025 budget, we cannot subsidize anymore. The subsidy amount itself is not what is maybe 1/4 of what they are quoting. It is not even up to that. So they should clean up the system and make sure that when they say subsidy, it actually goes for subsidy. I'm not going to bring a fictitious claims and government paying. And government has all the power to verify and sanction whoever is error. So they cannot push that responsibility to you. I don't have the instruments of power and all those things to do that. So when you do that and set up refining capacity, let's say we give ourselves 18 months. If Dangote comes on board, Dangote is not an international free trade zone. So Dangote will sell at international market price. We are talking about modular refineries inside different parts of the country. The program that is holding investors from investing and starting up modular refineries after the BIE must be investigated, and such industry should be cleared. And then in the next 18 months, we can now say in the 2025 budget, there will not be subsidy. Let's use this 1.5 years period to ensure that the modular refineries are working, to ensure that we bring in investors in the sector, and ensure that we have enough refining capacity for local consumption. Yeah, we remove the subsidy. That's what government should be talking about.
All right.
And also, government will wake up, like let's just wake up to this kind of wicked act.
Okay, so let's let the listener join the conversation. It's time for the Take the Mic segment. Opportunity for you to join in and let's know how this has so far affected you as regards a fuel subsidy. Yeah, how this is directly affecting you right now or indirectly. There are several, effects this has on the citizens, and there'll be time to talk about that. But 070322773338 or 090955511039 are the numbers to call to join the conversation. Let's get talking as regards that. We'd like to hear your view as to how this is directly affecting you. How much are you getting fuel right now? How much it is sold for around you? Is it still scarce? Stations still closed? You paying more to get to your destination? We'd like to know your experience so far since this was announced. This statement was made by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited yesterday. And we have a few comments here from social media. We'll take some of them as we go, and then we also will take some of your calls and contributions as well as we continue. This one is from Ekimine. Says a liter is 600 naira. Please, when you do send these messages, kindly include your location so we know where exactly. But Ekimine is in Lagos. Okay, but your exact location in Lagos, 600 naira, and she says, oh yeah, I'm paying more. It is well low. She says, thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Let's see some more messages. This one is from Agnes. Agnes says 500 naira. 500 naira. Again, please include location. This one is from Maintain. Maintain says 700 naira per liter. Where exactly are these things selling for 700, 500, and 600? We would like to know. When you do send in those messages, please kindly include location as well, where exactly in Lagos you're texting from, and would like to hear from you. 0703-2277-338 and 0909 555-1039 to join the conversation live here. You can drop your comments also on the Facebook Live broadcast. Let's know how much you're buying. If you're watching from anywhere around the world, let's know how much it is exactly you're buying fuel at the moment. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Uzoma and Bassey, I greet you, sir.
We also have a guest.
Today from Makoka.
Mr. Today we have a guest.
Honestly speaking, the guests have spoken the mind of the citizens. But there's one thing he forgets to know, that previous government and administrations have been trying very hard to make sure that the refinery works. The statistics are there. Millions of naira have been invested on it, and yet it has been made impossible. So much that some people have said in the past that the money that they are investing on this repairing maintenance of the old one should be used to build another one. But me, I think there are forces behind all these faults in the past. And I also think that if there is no subsidy, you will see that Nigeria will get this thing. Subsidy is the only monster through which Nigerians are made poorer than before. Take it or leave it. You will see that things will find its level. In front of my place, of my house, they sell it for 490 naira this morning to us.
What location is that?
Akoka. Okay. Akoka. Very, very close to University of Lagos. Main gate.
400 and what?
490 naira.
That's not so far. That's just two naira different from the is it?
No, 10 naira different from the average of 500 naira. With time it will reshape itself. The investors will not be attracted to build if possible. You will see.
I was even referring to the
reverse the other.
All right, thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you so much for joining the conversation. 0703-2277-338 and 0909-555-1039 is the number to call. I was referring to the 488 naira for the NPC depot in Lagos. But hey, let's keep the conversation going, and as we continue on the Take the Mic segment. So you have the opportunity to get talking right now. Let's know what exactly your experiences are at the moment as regards this fuel subsidy situation. How much you're buying, how much it costs you now to get to your destinations if you're using commercial vehicles, and what your experiences have been so far. Ambrose is still very much on the line. Let's also mention, by the way, we did tell you a few minutes ago during the newsstand when we were reviewing the papers that the Daily Trust newspaper reported that Naira has been devalued by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Well, it didn't take so long. The Central Bank responded to that to say that they have not devalued the Naira. They immediately released a statement signed by the Acting Director Corporate Communications, Isat Abdulmumin, and it says the attention of the Central Bank of Nigeria has been drawn to a news report by Daily Trust newspaper on June 1, 2023, titled Central Bank Devalues Naira to 630 Naira per United States dollar. We wish to state categorically that this news report, which in the imagination of the newspaper is exclusive, is replete with outright falsehoods and destabilizing innuendos, reflecting potentially willful ignorance of the said medium as to the workings of the Nigerian foreign exchange market. For the avoidance of doubts, the exchange rate at the investors and exporters window traded this morning, June 1, 2023, at 465 Naira per United States dollar, and has been stable around this rate for a while. The public is hereby advised to ignore the news report by Daily Trust in its entirety, as it is speculative and calculated at causing panic in the market. Media practitioners advised to verify their facts on the Central Bank of Nigeria before publishing, in order not to misinform the public. That's the statement by the Central Bank this morning, debunking what they call fake news. And they've said, again, they've not devalued the naira. All right, that's just to clarify that particular story.
Anyways, the news is not only properly common to the Daily Trust. I mean, even the Punch this morning reported that, but the Punch has now, the Punch
was even quoting Daily Trust when they reported this. So the Daily Trust was reporting this exclusively. The Punch also picked from there to say, well, it's been devalued. They quoted, if you check that report very well, they quoted that to say, according to Daily Trust. But that's been clarified now by the Central Bank. We have time to take your calls and contributions. 070322773338 and 090955511039. Those are the numbers to call. We're streaming on Facebook as well. Drop your comments there. Let's know what you think of the fuel subsidy issue, the new move by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to regulate the price, if you like. And what they've done is to say, there's going to be a particular amount you buy when you visit NPC filling stations across the country. For Lagos, as Lagosians, if you go to an NPC filling station, what you're expected to pay per litre of petrol is 488 naira per litre. That's for Lagos. For other states, it varies from 500 to 511 to 557, depending on what state you're visiting. But that's the situation right now. I've got Ambrose Igboke talking to us about this. So join the conversation as we continue.
Anyways, so Ambrose, another area we want to look at this is the drain. Just yesterday, the House Committee on ad hoc committee on the need to investigate the petroleum product subsidy regime in Nigeria finally submitted its report 11 months after the committee was constituted. And there's something very instructive that committee came out with. I just want to read it to our attention. The committee said the House is worried that the consumption rate of PMS is 40 million to 45 million liters per day. However, NNPC uses 65 million to 100 million liters per day to determine subsidy as discoverable from the NNPC's monthly report to the Federal Allocation Committee. The House is also worried that the subsidy regime has been unscrupulously used by the NNPC and other critical stakeholders to subvert the nation's crude oil revenue to the tune of over $1 billion, with records showing that as of 2021, over $7 billion in over 120 million barrels have been so diverted. And so, does this not give the federal government a reason? Well, if you don't want to prosecute these people who have done this, still, I don't want to use a harsher word, but for short of word, subverting the nation's economy. If you don't want to prosecute it, why don't you just take the thing off? Do you agree with this, Ambrose?
Is it? Why will you not prosecute them?
Exactly, but it appears that
is it me and you? Is it you and I that will prosecute them?
It's a lame excuse for the federal government to prosecute them.
No. Please, let's not make as citizens of this country, let's not make lame excuses for the federal government. We give these people a job to do, and they must do their job.
Absolutely.
The federal government have the police, they have the NFIU, they have the DSS, they have the NIA, they have the Interpol to collaborate with. They have all they can run to any bank, any Cayman Airlines, Switzerland, anywhere to investigate accounts. So, who is the federal government afraid of? Why can't federal government prosecute those who have done this? NSPC a statue. People are running NNPC and getting away with these things. So if the federal government wants to sanitize the subsidy regime in the petroleum sector, it knows what to do. But because it's afraid of some big goons, it is passing the responsibility on hapless citizens. It is not the citizens or the masses that will persecute those people. And you are trying to deny your citizens of what is rightly their own because some people are stealing from it. Close the National Assembly because you see corruption in National Assembly. Close all the ministries because you saw corruption there. Close all the health sectors and all the education sector because you saw corruption there. Close the custom, immigration and police and everywhere because you saw corruption there. This is not, this kind of reasoning is illogical. Clean up the subsidy in the petroleum sector, set a record of like 1.5 years or 2 years where modular refineries should start working. Let's have refining capacity to meet our local needs, and then we can hands off. Until those instances are done, you cannot just wake up and say there's no more subsidy. Clean out the subsidy, arrest those who are stealing from the subsidy.
All right, Ambrose Igboke is the Enugu State Chapter Chairman of the Guild of Public Affairs Analysts. Thank you so much for being on the Discourse this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
All right. Have a nice day.
Yeah, burning with passion as we got the subsidy issue. Okay, it's time to take a short break. When we get back from the break, we'll go straight to the next segment, the Industry Hub segment. And today we'll look at the transportation business. Well, this time, don't worry, not in Lagos. We'll go to somewhere in the southeastern part of the country where the newly sworn in governor of the state has made a decisive move to check corruption, so to say, as regards taxation when it comes to transportation. We'll talk about that in a moment. You want to stay tuned to the station for knowledge and entertainment live from 103.9.
To the station for knowledge and entertainment. Law FM
103.9.
When you listen to this station, you learn about your rights. You discover the law in ways you never imagined. You know why? Because we broadcast in your interest.
It's a problem that we are all experiencing in the country. Different parts of the country, the same thing is happening. So who do we call on to? Who do we hold responsible?
We impact knowledge.
If the grid is unable to shed the load that it ought to, it could also result in the collapse of the national grid.
Call it what you may, but we are here to stay. The law was never biased, so why should it be now? To every individual, we are Law FM 103.9.
There are no internal electricity boards.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Raquel H, aka Your Money's Mine, aka My Money's Mine. What up? You're listening to Law FM 103.9, your station for knowledge and entertainment.
And everything is super dope.
Thanks indeed for staying tuned. Let's continue the conversation. You're now live on the Industry Hub segment on Law FM 103.9. This is the station, the country's premier law radio station, your only law radio station. Now, the Abia State Governor, Alex Otti, has suspended all transport levies imposed on commercial drivers in the state. This was contained in a statement by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Media and Publicity, Ferdinand Ikoma, and that was released yesterday. He stated that the directive was in line with the campaign promise of the governor to sanitize methods of revenue collection in the state and stop all kinds of extortion, intimidation, and harassment of motorists. Let me read you a part of the statement. It says, this suspension takes immediate effect and will remain until government reviews these levies and make public its arrangement for the smooth organized and transparent collection of such transport levies in a manner it would not lead to extortion, intimidation, and violation of rights and privileges of Abia residents. The government believes that the present method is archaic and very harmful to the lives of the people and the economic well-being of the state, and thus should not be allowed to continue. In the light of the above decision, the governor has requested all those involved, directly and indirectly, to please discontinue forthwith. The government is even begging. Please discontinue forthwith. Face the wrath of the law, as security agents have been briefed and directed to apprehend and bring to justice anyone found violating this directive. It is not clear right now, at least from the statement, if transport workers in Abia State would then be operating without paying levies. If the statement says that the governor has suspended all transport levies imposed on commercial drivers in the state, it means that as we speak, and it says it takes immediate effect from yesterday, it means that as at this morning, Thursday the 1st of June 2023, the keke rider in, let's take Naba, the capital, is going to be operating without paying levies.
That's
so there won't
commercial capital.
That's the commercial capital of the state. Yeah, of course, Maya is the capital. My state and capital is very intact. Thank you very much. Okay, so just putting things in perspective, painting a picture for you of what the situation is like considering this. It means the guy who, whether he's accredited or not, is being given the authority or not to collect these taxes, these levies, right? Because at that level, they are levies, right? Not taxes. They're different from levies, are different from taxes. All right. So, whether or not the guy was given the authority, he has the right to do so, because there are those who don't, like, they are clearly out on the road, who just do these things, collect the monies, we don't know where they are going to, and we can see this in Lagos. We'll come back to Lagos, just wait. But the situation in the state, Abia State right now, is that they should not be found doing that.
Absolutely.
They cannot stop these kekes, these
Okada riders,
the bus guys,
buses.
I think they have cabs, cars who run as cabs as well. So they cannot stop them to collect these levies until, and God knows how long it will take the state government to eventually come up with a smooth one that they say won't be harmful to the lives of residents in the state. How commendable is this move? Do you think this should be replicated in a city like Lagos, in a state like Lagos, where we see all manner of people? You don't even know who is meant to collect what and at what time of day, because I mean, people collect midnight these days. Just about any time of day. Do you think do you commend the Abia State government as regards this? So before this is going to be a conversation, a deep conversation for later, but right now, what do you think about this? As you're listening as a Lagosian, you're listening right now, what do you think about this? Join the conversation real quick. 0703-2277-338 or 0909-555-1039, especially if you a commercial driver or you're even just a passenger who's been psychologically affected some way, or do not just enjoy seeing these things happen. Random persons, whether they are random or not, whether they are the ones authorized to collect these levies, holding clubs that sticks, chasing vehicles down to enforce these taxes, to collect them by force or by fire, and just random persons coming from nowhere, out of nowhere, when you get to the bus stop or you're just driving past expressways. And so would you like to see this replicated in Lagos? I know that I think it was sometime February 2021, or was it 2020, when the January or February, when the Lagos State government introduced a new system, right, and they said there was going to be a unified levy collected. So you want, and one thought with that, you would see a system where you're not paying, people are not paying multiple levies for this, for transportation. But that has continued in the States. We're still seeing plenty levies collected. As a matter of fact, if you speak with this commercial drivers, you'd find that they are still complaining so much. There was I think it was just days before the election, or was it immediately after the gubernatorial election in Lagos, that they protested.
Yes.
Right. So would you like to see this replicated in Lagos? Is this commendable or not?
Well, I mean, that decision is left for you out there to make. But we are here to just, bring the facts up to you so that you can, throw in your comment. Looking at the removal, the state cannot really survive without, payment or collection of levies and taxes. But what the governor is saying by this statement is that he has to be organized, he has to be orderly, he has to be, everything has to be, not haphazard. In Lagos, virtually every major bus stops,
we're talking streets, what the bus stop is like, and you're saying major,
every
single bus stop, every street,
these commercial bus drivers, and you pay for morning, you pay for afternoon, you pay for loading. They pay several fees.
As long as they are commercial drivers, whether it is keke, bikes have been banned, or you just find
these mini
buses operating, it feels like this cannot be they cannot sanitize it, cannot control it. It feels uncontrollable. It feels like the state government is, so to say, powerless. That's the Lagos state government as regards this.
And that goes on to the issue of creating enabling environments for businesses to thrive, for people to be happy. We're not saying that I'm sure that the drivers will not be saying that they shouldn't take these levies, but the levies should not be indiscriminate, should not be unpredictable, should not be what they cannot see. It should be, yes, it is predictable. I know that whenever you move from point A to point B, this is the levy for it. Whenever and from so and so time to so and so hour, this is the levy for it. Or just one levy you pay once for the whole day. So it is just like some channels, this terrestrial broadcasting services that we have. Some people in other countries, other clients, you pay per view, right? But here, you just pay for one who, either you watch these channels or not, you still have to pay. So it's a bit discriminatory. It's a bit unpredictable. You are not just you cannot predict that this is the amount that I'm going to be charged for this fee, and that's why the governor, I'm sure, is coming out with this, and he's been doing quite a lot, now that he just
so again, this is just maybe the surface conversation as regards, and we just want to know from you out there if you think this is what the Lagos state government should be looking at as well. Maybe look in this direction, probably suspend for, or just come up with a better model for this, because that's exactly what the Abia state government is saying here, that this cannot work. In that statement, I go back to the statement to read you what they say. The statement says that the government believes that the present method is archaic and very harmful to the lives of the people and the economic well-being of the state. Let's take your calls. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. I'm calling back from Makoka.
Thank you for
good morning. Welcome.
You see, when you still rain, you cannot say that this rain will be more than that of yesterday until it stops. You can compare. You see, for the news to really confirm one thing, that Agberu are in every state, all over this country. And if I may draw your attention back, Agberu is a Yoruba word, which means somebody who collects passenger. And the justification for the money they collect is that they believe that they are the one that pull the passengers to the park. Unfortunately, motor park administration is under local government jurisdiction, and I'm not seeing our present local government authorities as having enough force to match with this and with rules. You see, there is one thing you should not forget, that most of these drivers are also hard in nature, and so they need other people to collect money from them. Do you understand? So they know themselves. Let's see how it goes in Abia. How it's going to be a role model, that others will emulate in future.
Talking about sorry to cut you though, but talking about these drivers being hard in nature, is it not as a result of the system that has made them that way? Yes, there will be those who do not want to pay these things, obviously, right? But if there's a model, I mean, it's 2023, can't it be digitized, or is it digitalized? Can't it be a lot more automated, if you like, in a manner that as long as you are going this route, maybe before you resume from your house or some, I don't know, like, but there can be a structure to it where people are not necessarily running after vehicles.
Let me be truthful with you. It has to do with the nature of the job. If you see a soldier coming, approaching you and slapping, you ask yourself, what kind of soldier is this one? They said every soldier must know how to frown his face. I think they learn it, and they are exposed to it at the motor park. Do you understand? I don't, all over the country, most drivers are hard. It's not for a gentleman. If you are gentle, you get there, you will not become gentle. I have a classmate, let me tell you, I have a classmate in Bassey that was very, very, very nice. Very, very, very kind, very, very soft. But immediately he joined the Nigerian army, he became another person. There was a time I went to visit him, I could not look at his eyes. He has retired now, I think, as a major general. So what I'm saying is that it is the nature of their job. They have to be hard, and you need other people to collect money from them. That's the whole thing. Let's wait and see how it goes in Abia State. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that.
Look at the improvements in BRT, for instance. You used to, before now, they used to have Molues. Lagos used to have Molues, saying maybe in the 1999s and early 2000s. But now Molues have been phased out. BRT, with your carry card, you can easily swipe, and I mean, you're already
digitalization.
This is 21st century. This is 2023.
Digitalization.
So,
no one is running after. As a matter of fact, you know, there's a way you can even go check your balance on the carry card. So you know that I don't get money, I know they go there.
Exactly.
Do you understand? Or I just simply need to top up the carry card, right? It's just what it is. Can they be? I mean, we are geniuses, right? They can be, and we've seen Lagos State government do awesome things, come up with great policies. But why is that in the transportation system a problem? At least for commercial transportation, and like you mentioned, that the bus rapid transit thing is cool. Maybe we should look more in that direction. And again, this is just the surface of this conversation. Hopefully we'll return to this in one of these editions of the Levies Morning Show and talk about this, because there's even the debate about the authority of the local government in this regard, because this is, like Tunde mentioned, under their jurisdiction, because they're supposed to be directly responsible for these levies, right? Does the state government have the authority, except they would say that they've consulted with local government and an agreement, right? So, but the state government have can they just wake up and say, all right, stop the levies, don't collect them anymore?
So it has to do with partnership, it has to do with understanding, it has to do with growth. When you look at this issue, it's the same thing as local governments collecting levies from the markets and store people. My own idea or my own take from this is, with understanding with the state government, this is a mega city. This is the 21st century. We cannot continue to operate this way and expect that we will still be among the committee of nations where people would want to, look up to. How many people would, before now, you know, if you have your own private car, or if you have maybe all these rider hailing vehicles, you would easily want to take those ones because they are more organized, they are more transparent, you can see it. But today, you can, if you're using commercial transport, maybe you're commuting from say Abia to somewhere else, the fees you pay, out of the blues, you just find out that the money has jumped up. But for this rider hailing transport system, you know that it is more predictable. You can predict that from so even before you step out, you've already seen how much you are going to pay. And that's the effect of technology, that's the effect of development, that's the effect of growth. So if Lagos is looking towards becoming or continuing to retain that mega city status, it also has to look into this direction, towards this direction of making sure that there is organization in the transport system, especially commercial transport system.
Alrighty, time for a short break. When we get back, we'll begin to wrap the conversation on the Left Morning Show, but we will definitely get to the social bus segment before we do so. Do stay tuned to the station for knowledge and entertainment. Come closer.
Get closer to the station for knowledge and entertainment. Law FM.
And discover what you can do right now.
All the youths in Nigeria, let me assure you that no matter what you are going through, the future is bright. You are the future. You have the power to create the future. Don't let anybody use you as gangster or thug or violent political followers. Just stay within the law. And by the grace of God, Nigeria will be better. I'm Olufemi Pedro, and you are listening to Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment.
Alrighty, thanks for staying tuned. It's time for Social Buzz here on the FM Morning Show. And we have this particularly disturbing story trending on social media right now. If you go to the trends map, you find that Rivers is trending. As a matter of fact, I think it's the top 10 of the trends right now. It's number 3 on the trends in Nigeria, on stories trending in Nigeria on the trends map, and it's a very disturbing story. Before we get to that, real quick, just to mention some cherry news for you, and that's the fact that Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, what you call LASMA, has deployed officials to monitor traffic around filling stations across the state as queues worsen, and that was revealed in a press release signed by the agency's Director of Public Affairs and Enlightenment, Adebayo Taufik, yesterday. And they've cautioned motorists queuing up for fuel at different filling stations not to cause traffic congestions and hinder other road users, which is very important. Let's get to that disturbing story on Social Buzz this morning. And this is buzzing because a lot of persons are commenting about this, and it's really, really disturbing. Now, a lady has been arrested for allegedly running a baby factory in Rivers State. Her name is given as Akudo Azoro, and she's confessed to the police that she sells the children between 1.4 and 1.5 million naira, depending on the gender of the baby. Well, it's been reported that operatives raided the child trafficking center in Alu, Ikore local government area of the state, and rescued 6 young pregnant women. That location, Alu, you recall it for that particular one, and well, that story is still very disturbing when you think about it. This jungle justice situation. Now the rescued women, I just told you that the police reportedly raided that child trafficking center in the Ikore local government area and rescued 6 young pregnant women. And the rescued women, who are between the ages of 20 and 23, were being camped with the intentions to trade their babies after they were delivered of them. Very disturbing. And this happened yesterday. The state's police commissioner, Polycarp Nwoyi, disclosed this during his media briefing in Port Harcourt yesterday, and he said police arrested the lady Azoro, the operator of the child trafficking center, alongside her accomplice during the raid. The suspect admitted running the illegal business, but claimed that she gives out the baby to families who do not have children of their own and not to ritualists. She claimed that the young women were already pregnant when they came to her, adding that she pays them, that's the girls, the pregnant ladies, about 800,000 naira to 900,000 naira, depending on the stage of the pregnancy at the time they come. And she says she sells between 1.4 and 1.5. So if you pay 900, goodness God, for someone's child, crazy situation. And that's being talked about on social media right now. Social media is a go, guys. Like I mentioned, it's on number 3. River State's on number 3 right now on the trends map.
I'm just speechless because despite all the actions taken by the police and other law enforcement agencies to dissuade people from going into this, you still find people doing this, and you ask yourself why. Is it because of the money? Is it because is it because of the money? Is it because of money generally, or you don't have conscience? These are human beings. They are not commodities. They are not non-living things. And you sell them 800. Is that the worth of the life of a human being, or 1.5 million? And you that you are buying, what happens to adopting a child? What happens to, going through the proper channel to, adopt? Don't you know that this is a crime? There's several laws, especially even the criminal code and the penal code, depending on where it's applicable to the jurisdiction, depending on the state. And even the criminal codes of these various states also have provisions against this. So I mean, it's really a sad situation, really, and we hope that the security agencies who have apprehended them would, do the needful.
Beyond just parading the suspect and telling the media that this is what happened, we need to see a conclusive end to this matters. And I don't know what happens. Would they retrieve the babies from those she has sold to? If she keeps a record of the persons, of course, you have contact of the persons she sold.
It's like Nemo that could non habet. You cannot give what you don't have. The baby is never yours. Yes, there were transactions, but you don't have right over those children. So obviously, these children have to go. I mean, everybody. It's just a ring. It's like a ring or a cartel.
Recall that even the mothers, according to her, the lady who runs the ring, and she even pays them for that.
It is illegal.
Exactly. There's no debate as regards. I'm even talking about the fact that what the law would then do, or what the state would then do, would now be to force this kids back,
and they can be kept at the pleasure of the state.
All right,
because human beings are properties of the state, not particularly an individual. So the government can raise them up or take care of them.
So most importantly, retrieve them from these persons that have, paid to acquire children. All right. If you have that much, I don't think what's it called, surrogacy costs that much, does it? I wouldn't know. So if you're buying for 1.5, buying human life for 1.5, goodness. All right, we've got to go. I mean, it's just unimaginable, some of the things that happen in this world, not just this country but the world. But hey, thank you for being there. Thank you for being a part of the Loifa Morning Show on this first day in the new month, the month of June 2023. Let's do this together again tomorrow for the last time this week, and indeed have further conversations. Have a fun day this Thursday.
Yes, I'm Uzoma Felix.
Kingsley Bassey is my name. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.